Hey, what's up, guys? It is July 25th, and it is a gray Wednesday today. I just put in on the Clarion River in Ridgway. I got a vehicle shuttle by Lazy River Canoe something. I'll try to remember to post the link in the description. But I unpacked my gear and left it at their spot and followed them down about 16 miles downstream to park my car. And the guy, Tim, who drove me back, man, cool guy. We had a nice conversation about different paddle spots and camping spots, and gave me some good ideas about future adventures. But they're calling for some pretty heavy rain today. And on my way up here, I was listening to NPR, and there's a flood advisory or flood warning or whatever with the amount of rain they're expecting. So I brought my skirt and some rain gear to stay as dry as possible. But my plans don't change with the weather, metaphorically and literally. So hopefully the rain might keep some other people that would otherwise be out at home, have the river to myself. So I have paddled the Clarion a couple times before. It is it's one of my favorite like easy trips from Pittsburgh. It's about a 2.5 hour drive, and I have a lot of great memories on this river. It's 11:15 now. My plan is to do, my car is 16 miles downstream. I'm doing Ridgway to Irwin Run. The last time I checked, the Ridgway river gauge was I think at 3.5 feet, and you really don't want to paddle this, from what I understand, under 3 feet. So we should be good, especially if we get some more rain tonight. But there's this one campsite that I've always wanted to camp at, and it's right near these rapids, and it just so happens that it's like right near it's not far from the takeout. But I imagine it's a pretty favorable campsite. It's always taken whenever I'm on this river. So I'm really taking a gamble at paddling all the way there and hoping that no one else is there. But if it's taken, I'll figure something else out. I'm hoping that with the rain and that it's a Wednesday and it's still pretty early yet. I think I can probably get there in about 4 or 5 hours of paddling. If I'm able to withstand the rain that they're calling for. Because that could be pretty miserable. But it's going to be an adventure one way or the other. Appreciate you guys coming along with me. So that was one of the few named rapids on this section of the Clarion. It's called Trestle Rapid. It's pretty straightforward, nothing to worry about. It started to drizzle a bit, so I put the skirt on just in case it started to pick up. But if it starts getting too hot or anything, I can always take it off. It doesn't bother me any though. It's comfortable and keeps me dry. Something that I hope I'm able to do throughout this trip. Like I was saying before, I have a lot of good memories on this river. The last time I paddled it was with my buddy who's passed on. And the first time I paddled it was with somebody that has since moved on. And it was the first kayak camping trip that I had ever been on. And the first campsite I ever had while kayak camping was right there. The water level is high, but there was more of a beach there 3 years ago. But I remember having my then partner was taking a nap, and I said, all right, well, I'm gonna go for a walk. So I started walking, take a little hike downstream, and come to find out, like, we thought we were a little bit more remote than we were, and you know, I take a walk, I don't know, 100 yards downstream or so, and I come across this, a row of houses. But yeah, I didn't want her to know that we were right on top of people's backyards. Obviously, she found out in the morning. So, ooh, snake. That guy out. Oh, he's in the water now. So anyways, obviously she found out in the morning. It's nice to come back and relive those memories and it makes me feel a little bit like home in a way. It's about 1:15. Been on the water for around 3 hours now. Doesn't feel that way. This river is just, you know, around every corner. It's a new landscape. There's all these big boulders that are in the water and alongside the river, and it's just time has really flown by today. But still hasn't rained. It feels like it really wants to. Which I think I'm prepared for. All right, lucky for me, I was able to snag a great site. I don't know how I was able to do it. I mean, I paddled pretty hard, but I've been on the water for about 4 hours. I don't know how far I've covered, but according to Tim, this is pretty much just about it. The car should be around the bend. But so this site is really beautiful, and obviously it's well used. There's a picnic table here, right? Pretty solid one too. And I guess that's the bar area. But it's nice. It's a beautiful beautiful view here onto the river. There's a nice fire pit, a little bit of wood there already, which is great. Some stuff that people cut down that they didn't use, so that should be set. Only problem is that there's not a ton of space for a hammock, so hopefully I'll be able to hang my hammock up between this tree and that one over there. It's pretty big spread, but we'll give it a go. So I'm gonna unload my gear. I am gonna get my tarp set up real quick because of the rain that's expected, and I'll probably take a dip. It's about 4:15 right now. I've been at this site for about an hour, almost 2 hours maybe, and it is perfect for several tents. Not so good for even a single hammock. Took me a long time to find some trees that were suitable, and by the time I got the hammock strung up, it started to thunder a little bit. So I got the tarp put up, took the hammock down, got everything under here, and it was a downpour for about 5 minutes. The sun's starting to come out now, so that's great. But I haven't eaten since breakfast, so it's time for me to eat. Much like the other, my last 2 trips, this was not super planned out. However, I did have time and the foresight to swing by REI because I knew there was a good chance of rain, and I'm not so sure I'd be able to start a fire with like super wet wood, but I will try. So I wanted to get some dehydrated meals, which I did. So for lunch, I'm not too hungry, but it is time. So for lunch, I got some spicy cheddar bean dip. I'm gonna start some water, and hopefully it'll stop raining, and I can take a dip or something. I need to clean my hands off. Look at how, I was like really going hard trying to find somewhere to hang this hammock. At least the tarp. So it was a bit of an adventure, but we did it. As you can see, I really just threw everything together and got it under the shelter of the tarp. There is thunder rolling in the distance, so it's going to be a rainy camp, which is fine. I'll take what I can get. Okay. Now we wait. Well, the rain is kind of holding off. Man, you guys gotta check this side out. Well, those beans are rehydrating, and there's a break in the rain. Thought I'd come down and get some water. One of the recent changes I made to my gear was a new water filter. I got this Sawyer Mini, and this is the first time I've had it out camping. However, I went on a picnic in Ohio State Park this past weekend, and I had it in my car. And as we were getting out of the car, we realized we didn't have that much water with us. But I had this, and it was great, man. It was, it comes with a little bag, and I could just scoop water right out of the river, screw this on, and water right then and there. Didn't have to wait for it to gravity feed or anything like that. Even though this is my first time camping with it, it's not my first time using it. It's the second, but it's just so much more convenient than that Life Straw Mission I had. Another change to my gear that I made recently was I had like this large Gerber folding shovel that stored in a bag, and it folded up and telescoped. It had a telescoping handle, and that had to go. It was just too heavy, too bulky. And what I ended up picking up the other day from REI when I got these dehydrated meals was the Deuce number 2. Super light, and I was able to use it to dig a hole for these sticks that are holding the tarp up. And I was pretty surprised at how well it cut through small roots and stuff. So it's flexible, but it's ultra lightweight. I don't need a bag for it or anything like that. There's no moving parts, and it'll just wipe clean, and I doubt it'll rust. Finally, I have a utensil set, 2 utensil sets, so like 2 forks, 2 spoons, and 2 knives, and that's nice for like if I'm camping with someone or if I bring like a steak, but it's nice to have that kind of stuff, and I have camping plates and stuff for if I'm camping with someone who doesn't want to eat dehydrated meals, or who I'd rather cook an actual meal for. But when it's just me, it's kind of pointless to have all that mess going around. So I grabbed a there we go. Light my fire titanium spork. So let's hear that thunder. Let's mix this up here. Smells pretty good. I don't know if I've ever had an Alpine Air meal, dehydrated meal. I did have some guacamole, or it was guacamole, dehydrated guacamole from REI. I can't remember who made it. It might have been this company. The packaging looks kind of similar, but ooh, that's spicy. That's spicy. So, grab some chips from home. Yellow and blue corn tortillas. Dig in. Not bad. Not bad. Does have some kick. Figured while the sun's out, might as well get out from under that tarp. These chips are too broken up to have an efficient scoop. So I'm just cutting this bag a little shorter. Throw some chips in. And that way my hand doesn't get dirty on the inside of the bag. I can still hear thunder coming from over there. The sky is clear over there. Can't really tell which way the clouds are moving, but it's kind of cool to hear that thunder, but it's also kind of an ominous sign of what's to come. It's still thundering in the distance, but it's not raining. And I followed this trail which goes through these rhododendrons. It's like these super thick rhododendrons. It's beautiful. And there's a rope swing. So I'm gonna swing on it. It's really, really pretty. Tim, the guy who drove me here, well, drove the shuttle rather, warned me about rattlesnakes. Said 2 people have been bitten in the past week or so. So, keeping an ear out. Man, that was really fun. I took it easy the first few times because I don't know what's under there. But I didn't hit the ground. It's obvious that this area is like not only frequently visited, but like genuinely cared about by people. I mean, like this rope swing, it's like a ladder for people to climb up this rock. I don't know why I didn't use it for that, but so if you should make your way out to this part of Clarion, you know, try to keep it, I mean, anywhere really, you know, leave no trace. This is, you know, there's some beer cans and stuff. I'll pick a few up, but this is really beautiful, and you can tell that people put some work into it. Like even just with that, you know, the little picnic table and bar at the campsite, you know, and keeping the trails open and all that. So I will tie this back up so that it's easily retrieved by the next person who wants to come out here and enjoy this. And I think I know how I'm gonna wake up in the morning. All right. Well, it's about 7:15. I came back to camp after hitting up that rope swing, and it looked like it was going to rain again. So I spent some time doing some chores around camp, and got things set up and put away. Processed some wood and stacked it on top of some other pieces. I don't think I'm going to have a fire tonight, but probably it'd be nice to have one in the morning if it's cool. It's not like this is going to dry out any, because it has been raining around here a good bit, but it won't get any wetter underneath the tarp. So I also spent some time putting drip knots on everything. This is just, I just fed the line up to get it off the ground, but put some drip lines on the tree straps and on the line that holds up the bug net. That's about it for now. I think I got changed into some dry clothes. Feels good. Probably gonna call it an early night tonight. I got a fair amount of sun, and I can feel it in my back and my arms, the amount of paddling that I did today. So Probably just listen to some podcasts. Lucky for me, I had the foresight to download some podcasts because there's no reception here. And that's not something that I tend to do. But my family's vacationing in Cape Cod, celebrating. It was a birthday trip for someone, but I've done a lot of traveling in the past few months, and decided to stick this one out and focus on some stuff at work and come out here when I had, a couple days off. So, and I'm glad I did that. But, yeah, I'm just going to relax for a little bit. Everything's pretty much stored away pretty good. And hopefully I'll stay dry tonight with these drip lines. I don't know. They look like they're done right. I mean, how hard can it be? Of course, I shouldn't have said that. It's almost 8 o'clock. I'm still really full from that spicy bean dip. It was really good, and I'm not like uncomfortably gross full. I just I don't have an appetite for the dinner that I brought, but I always have room for raspberry crumble. So, I was sitting out here for a little bit listening to the podcast. It's listening to My Favorite Murder. It's pretty alright. There are other ones I wish I would have downloaded, but it's something to listen to while I journal. Very humid out. It is so humid. Let's see how much. 1 1/3 cup. Okay. Just so you know, this is not the bottle of water that I got from the river. This is bottled water. I'd like tomorrow, or whenever this is gone, I'd like to pour water from the filter into an empty container to compare the water pre and post filter. Alright, this thing is just great to have. 1/3. This was a really incredible day in nature. That was a phenomenal paddle. Got to see those deer. And that snapping turtle, I never saw a snapping turtle that big. I saw a baby one earlier this year in the Pine Creek Gorge. It was floating down the water. I never saw one that big though. Yeah, I saw some birds today that I can't identify, but they were nifty looking. I got a good workout in, arm day. I ride my bicycle a lot, so I needed a good arm day. Got this crazy good spot. Stayed dry, relatively dry. I'm gonna finish the day with raspberry crumble, some podcasts and journaling, some ibuprofen. Well, I think I'm going to rinse off and lay down, finish my podcast, finish my journal entry, call it an early night. So, thanks for tuning in. So you guys, hope you guys are having a nice night yourselves. And I'll catch up with you in my morning. Good morning. It's 6:30. Slept pretty good. Didn't rain. Had a couple animals come through in the middle of the night, but I slept pretty good. Got kind of chilly. I pulled my sleeping bag out. I kept it in my underquilt so that all I had to do was reach around, reach under me and pull it out. But stayed dry last night. Didn't rain. So it's time for coffee. Can't tell if it's starting to rain or if that's just stuff coming off the trees. Coffee. So I got camp broken down. You have to get it packed. I'm just kind of taking my time, doing a slow roll, but also trying to be productive at the same time. The fire's a bit anemic. I don't know if it's gonna light or not. I mean, it did, but then I kind of smothered it. But my plan is to pack everything up, and if this looks like it's gonna catch on fire, I'm gonna stick around and enjoy it. Otherwise, I'm gonna pour some water on it, hit the water, maybe avoid rush hour. This really had to have been my favorite solo camp. The paddle was just incredible. Had a good spot up here. Went for a couple swims. The water was good. It was pretty humid last night trying to fall asleep. But and it's still really humid. But I mean, you can see the fog, pretty foggy. But just a phenomenal night. Well, that's it for this one, guys. Hope you enjoyed watching the video as much as I enjoyed making it. I thank you for watching it. And I will catch you guys on the next one.